Hi and welcome. If you're new here, my name is Nikki and I'm the sewist behind the blog SewUprising.com and Sew Uprising Handmade My Small Accessories line. Today I am going to do a sew with me for this bag right here. It is the Myra tote bag, Myra shopping tote, I believe, pattern from BagStock Designs. This is not going to be a full tutorial, just kind of walking you through the process with me as I sew this bag up and showing a few of the little tweaks I did to make it a little more customized to me. This is my first time sewing this bag, not my first time making a bag or using BagStock patterns, but first time using this particular pattern. And I'll kind of talk as I sew about some of the changes I would probably make next time I make it. This is also my first time using my brand new machine, or my first big project, I should say, using my brand new machine. I picked this guy up last week on a little bit of a whim. It is a Bernina 480 special edition. My local dealer had them on quite a deal. And I have made a few small projects, but today I really wanted to sit down and make something a little bigger, hence a bag, and try out all of the features of this new machine. I am going to do a video pretty soon talking all about why I picked this machine, how I feel about it now that I've used it a little more after I've had a little bit of time to make a few more big projects. But this is what we're going to be sewing today. This is not a full tutorial. This is just going to be me kind of walking through the steps of making the bag and talking about some of the changes I would probably make the next time I do it, and a few of the changes I did as I made this bag this time. So we're going to go through the whole process of sewing it up together, and then at the end I'll do some model shots and talk about how I feel about the pattern overall. Let's jump right in. I've got all my pieces cut out, stacked nicely, and I've double checked that everything is there. I also went ahead and got them all pre-interfaced, so they're good to go. Got my pattern pulled up and ready to go, and I have my little hardware bin. I started doing this probably a couple months ago now. Before I start a project, I just walk around and I gather literally all the hardware I'm gonna need, and I put it in this little bowl. I'm pretty sure it's from Home Goods, still has a sticker on it, and it makes it so much easier. First of all, I'm verifying that I have everything I need before I get started, but second, then it's all in a little bowl. So I think I'm ready to start sewing. To start off sewing this bag, we're going to need to assemble that front panel piece. So here you can see me starting to work on that. I am putting my zipper on my bottom panel piece and sandwiching it with the lining. I sew these two together as one step, and then we'll stop to iron before flipping to top stitch. Some people sew these separately. This works just fine for me and makes it a little faster. Here we are, and we're going to start working on that top part of the panel piece. So flipping the zipper pocket lining up, adding the piece that'll cover the zipper, and then stopping to double and triple check that the patterns are going the right direction. You'll see me do this a lot because I am quite often wrong and don't like to use my seam ripper, and better safe than sorry. It needs a press, but here is my completed front panel. So this would be through steps 21 in the tutorial. So you have my waxed canvas, focus please, here. You flip it up, you have your concealed zipper. I use Zipper by the Yard, which I always forget has these really bulky zippers. So we'll see how well that's actually hidden. But so far we're liking it. Needs a press obviously, and a tidy. And here's our pocket inside. So now it looks like we're going to move on and start the interior zipper pocket. Yep, that's right. So put this to the side and do the next step. So the next step we're working on is the interior zipper pocket. And you can see I've got mine started here. This is my main lining piece, my ziplock pocket lining piece with my pressed edge. They are right sides together. You flip it over, you can see these will be my stitching line. So I'll stitch right around the outside, and then I have the center line for a nice center cut. I'm going to link a tutorial for how to do a zipper pocket in the comment section or in the notes. If you've never done this before, it can seem a little scary, but I promise it's not. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine, stitch this, cut it, flip it, and then I'll be right back. We're over at my ironing board for a moment. I wanted to show you how I press these pockets to try to make them look nice and pretty on the outside. If you've ever done a pocket like this, you know sometimes it doesn't turn out as nice. First trick, same fabric. Don't get fancy. It should all match. The more it matches, the more it blends. So first thing I do is I press the whole pocket up, and I press that really, really well, whole piece, and then I let it cool like that. So I'm going to give it 10-15 seconds to cool in this up position. See how nice and crisp that seam line is. Then I'm going to flip it back down. Hard to do one-handed. And I'm going to press this piece back the same way, but I'm going to try really hard not to unpress what I pressed here. I'm going to put the camera down so I can do that, and then I'll pick it back up and show you. And really quick, here's what it looks like. You can see those two sides are pressed. I didn't unpress. A little cutting boo-boo right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip it to the back side and then press it again. So this is looking at the right side of my lining. You can see how crisp and clean those edges are that we pressed first, and then I purposely didn't press the edges so you can see kind of what it does there if you don't do it. Giving it that first press up before you turn it, I find really helps give you a nice clean finish from the front where you don't see any of the lining. I don't know if I'll flip it over, and here's what it looks like from the back. So now we're going to do our zipper install, and then we're going to finish stitching around the edge of the pocket as per the pattern instructions and go from there. So my zipper pocket is done, my magnetic strap is installed. I think this is one of my favorite zipper pockets I've ever done. Alright, so our lining is prepped, our exterior is prepped, and I believe our next step is to start assembling the entire exterior of the bag. I'm going to start working on that. And in this part here, you can see me getting ready to stitch the front and back panel pieces to that bottom exterior piece. Lining it all up right sides together, using quite a few clips, and again stopping to make sure the patterns are all going the right direction. And here I am beginning to clip those side pieces up onto the front pieces to eventually create the shape of the bag. Again, here I am being very generous with my pins or clips and making sure everything stays in one spot. I'm going to do all 4 corners at once and then stitch them all at once. And here is that completed exterior all stitched together. I'm going to set that off to the side and now pretty much do the same process with my lining side panels and my lining bottom piece. So right sides together, stitching those panels and then stitching the sides up. And after that, we are ready to move on to our final bag assembly. Alright, So here I've got my completed exterior, my completed interior. You can see all set to go. Now that I'm like looking at it, I kind of wish we would have done some slip pockets on this side here. So this lower side has a zipper. This would have been perfect for some slip pockets. Why are there no slip pockets? I don't know. Next time we'll add some pockets. And our next step is working on the straps. And for the straps, I am actually going to be working up some double-sided straps. So I am using my wax canvas and my lining fabric, and they're going to be the two-sided. So they're clean on two sides, because if you use wax canvas, it can get kind of thick, but you also don't want there where you can see the seam lines. So basically how I do this is take each piece and you fold it into the middle like this. This is my lining fabric, so it's just a quilting cotton, so I've given it a good press. But taking this one, basically you just fold it all the way down. And what's nice is you want to try to get it about in the middle, but you don't have to be super precise. And then you take the other side and you flip that in too. So it makes a nice 1 inch wide little piece here. You can see, so here's the unfolded bottom, the folded top. And then once your whole piece is folded, you take your other piece and you just line it up on the center, wrong sides together. And you get very, very pin happy. And you just pin it. I'm actually using clips because I don't want to poke holes in my wax canvas, all the way down. I find the more pins, the better. We go, and we're going to top stitch it. We're going to top stitch down each side, and you don't want either of the pieces to shift as you're sewing. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting this one pinned and prepped, and then I'll top stitch them, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Alright, and my straps are done. You can see here's what they look like. I love doing this, especially for tote bags. I feel like it gives a nice, really, really strong, I'm using all my might here, handle. But it keeps that nice finish where everything is enclosed. So we are almost done with this bag. Our next step is going to be to baste the handles onto the exterior, then sew the lining to the exterior, turn it, and we're done. So get working on that. And we are going to need to be able to put our exterior and interior right sides together before our final step. So here you can see me turning the exterior of my bag right side out and taking a moment to make sure that those corners are nice and even and fully extended. And now it is time to get those handles basted on. So here you can see me marking the center point of my front panel. I'm just going to use a pin to mark that. And then the handle is going to go 3 inches out on either side. I'm going to do this and mark it and hold it in place with a pin on the front and then eventually on the back as well before taking that to the machine and basting those handles in place. couple of steps in our bag is making sure it's all assembled and nice and pretty. Here you can see me putting the exterior of the bag into my lining, right sides together, and taking a few moments to make sure everything is in place, nice and lined up and clipped really well before I go to my machine. At my sewing machine, I'm going to stitch around that entire opening, turn the bag right side out through the opening of the zipper pocket, and then top stitch around the entire exterior of the bag before closing that zipper pocket. So here is my completed and finished Myra shopping tote pattern from BagStock Designs. I used a navy waxed canvas for this exterior, and this is an art gallery cotton woven for here, and then just a Kona beigey kind of cream color for the lining. You can see my little pop of color there. Overall, I really liked this pattern. I think this is one of the best beginner type of bag patterns you can do. It's really easy and quick to put together, but also provides a nice finished result, and it does have you do some more advanced techniques like this hidden zipper pocket here. This is actually a pocket hiding under this little flap. If you're new to bag making, this is one I am going to highly recommend. The top is just open. It's got a little magnetic snap there, and then there is one interior pocket, this zippered pocket, and then the other side is completely empty, and you can see it's just a big open space. If I were to make this again, I would actually probably put some slip pockets on this open side here, but not the end of the world. It's a tote bag, it's meant to be big. And then you actually turn the bag out through this lining here. That's something a lot of BagStock patterns have, and if you've never done it before, it can be a little scary, but I really enjoyed it. Overall, highly satisfied with the pattern, highly satisfied with the sew. Took me maybe about 2.5 hours start to finish. You can see it's a good size. It's not huge, but it's not small either. See if I can find, okay. So just for size comparison, here's my iPad. My iron's going off. So just as a size comparison, here is my iPad, kind of next to the bag. There you go, like this. So it is pretty big. I actually think my iPad would fit even in this front pocket here. But in the inside, I'm pretty sure I could even get my 13-inch laptop in there as well. So yeah, there we go. Those are my pattern. Thank you for sewing with me today, and I hope you join me next time.